everyone. Sitting out front, just wanted to get live again for a minute. I did a couple things. I wanted to see if anyone knew what these things were as well. I think it's a little bit different. Most homes don't have them, but you only flip around. So look at all the parking. You get a little spot here for your garage. But I'm curious if any one of you guys, I do know what they're for. I'm just curious in the comments if you guys do. So right up here, he had two spots, and they were for boats, for trailers, whatever it may be. Do you guys know what these gravel, what the square in the middle of the concrete is for the gravel? I'll come back in 20, 30 minutes and leave it in the comments and pin it. But I'm curious if anyone here knows why there are those squares in the concrete for gravel and not just all a concrete slab. But here's that breezeway again. It's got a little bit cloudy, but what I will tell you is I came out here earlier. The only reason I popped back on real quick is I came out earlier and the water was coming in a little bit cleaner. It looked like you could start seeing some fish coming in here. So yeah, it's crazy. It's only been about 45 minutes since the last time I was on here, and the water's already 6-8 inches higher and much cleaner. Here. Other thing that's funny is, I don't know if you guys can see it, there's a bunch of random tennis balls that somehow got trapped in this jet ski dock. They don't have a dog or kids, so I don't know. It's not the owners. They probably, oh, they floated right under the edge. Gotcha. But here, look at, I mean, this house is incredible next door. And he's got a spiral staircase up to a rooftop deck. I mean, imagine that. Because from his height at 35, 40 feet up, he's overlooking all those houses. He's actually pitched out that way and can see the ocean. Or look at this big bay, look over the marina. Such a beautiful area. Weather's phenomenal today. It's hard to beat this. Another question for you guys. I want to know if any of you like it, hate it, don't care, didn't even notice it. So here, skinny, they should cut back the bushes, but see all the concrete pilings all the way down? Notice anything different? Everything's capped. He's got lights on the end, but there's no pilings anywhere. Only at the very edge. Curious your thoughts on that. I mean, for docking, he put cleats so you can still dock right there. He did cleats so you tie up there with his bumpers. So it's set up just as though you'd have pilings. But I mean, to me, aesthetically, it looks so much cleaner. When he's in his living room, in his pool, anywhere else looking out, you don't have that blockage. There's very few people that I've seen do it, and it's got to be adjusted, I'm sure, with code, but it's cool. And then he actually pavered on top of it. I don't want to get too close, but he pavered all his patio and everything. So I mean, it's completely finished, which is in the end, I think what a lot of people will do here is they're going to cut all this back, knock down the house. But I mean, I think you pressure wash and you just paver and keep this going. Something else, and it's very interesting, I haven't really seen this done before. The owner was a contractor, and so he kind of did things a little bit above grade, but he actually did the lights not mounted, but the light comes up inside of the concrete post, just like here. Like, that's a flush mount outlet inside of a concrete post. I don't know if it's locked. Look at that. You don't see that like ever. It's just very interesting. And then the one thing I'm curious, another thing, since I am out here, I'm curious about, I'll drop in the comments what all this is. Wondering if anyone knows what that is. And then this, does anyone know why the dock cuts back and it's just a seawall here? This one, I'll tell you right now, it's for setbacks. You have a 5-foot setback on each side, and so they don't allow you to do that. But look at the bend. So even though we're 115 on the water, it's 110 of dockage, you can do an 80-foot boat here, sticking out a little, and then you actually wouldn't lose your view, which is incredible. I mean, that's why the gentleman next door, Michael, has such a great lot, is he actually has 100 feet going this way on the far side. So he can put a 100-foot yacht on the far side and he doesn't lose any of his view going out this way. That's the incredible part of the two homes on either side and the home that I'm at right now. And here is the home. Metal roof, like I said, it's RD10, so it's zoned multifamily. It's a duplex. It's a 2-2 and a 2-1 on that side. Full kitchens, 2-car garage. But like I had said before, it was never rented. It was a family that lives here, and they ended up more or less using one side to live in and one side for friends, family, party, hang out. I mean, look, they had all these windows coming out, all these tables, chairs, grill, and then you come around the corner. Like, no houses have this. I almost want to repaint it just because I think it's great. They had a full shuffleboard, like, with the scoreboard, like, the whole 9 yards. Like, and imagine you're sitting here playing shuffleboard, and that's your view. Now, I will say, the privacy portion of it, I get why they put this hedge here, but you lose such a great view and you lose the breeze. I mean, I think I would probably, unfortunately, get rid of it or cut it down to like a 2 or 3 foot height so you can actually get a nice breezeway through there. Because, I mean, look what's on the other side of it that you can't see or enjoy. I mean, it's kind of hard to not want to be looking at this, right? You know, I mean, it's crazy. And look at so down here, I think I mentioned it before, they did pram sailing. It's single person, small sailboats. So they end up putting buoys, and they have little races in this bay that goes all the way from here. And they have buoys and races all the way. I don't know if I can get down far enough without falling. I'm not gonna get on that dock, but all the way out, and it goes down to probably another 15 houses that way. So, like I mentioned before, this bay it's in Lighthouse Point. We're about 5 minutes from the Hillsborough Inlet, about 10 minutes north. About 10 minutes north by boat, 5 minutes north to the inlet. You're 20 minutes from Boca, and on a drive, you're about 15-20 minutes down to Fort Lauderdale. Here is the Hillsborough Lighthouse, which is where the inlet is. That's it, peeking over that 4-story condo. By boat, it's just right around this corner. It's not far at all. Like I mentioned, that is Cap's Place. It's an old gambler's den. It's a restaurant now, only open in the evenings, and you can only get there by boat. They have a little ferry that takes everyone over. But yeah, it's a beautiful area. It's a hidden gem. You either know about Lighthouse Point or you don't. It's an area just outside of Pompano, and like I said, you're 5 or 10 minutes to Meisner, to Boca, to everything else. And if you're a boater, it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat. And then, I mean, this property is just phenomenal. Like I said, it's a small front. I'll take you out front just so you can see. It's the ideal waterfront lot. It's a pie lot. Oh, carrying her golf clubs. But yeah, it's a pie lot property. You're only 35, 40 feet in the front, but you're 115 in the back, and that's what everyone wants. Now, I got a few more people in here too. Curious if any one of you in the comments know what these are for. I'm just curious if anyone has any idea. Normally it's 2 parking spots. It's for boats and for trailers. But the gravel area, I'll give you a hint. It's for drippage and to not ruin your concrete. Oh, while we're here, I guess you can see this. It's fun to notice things and see when it was done. So they did all their sewer. There's your sewer main. So they just did sewer plumbing. But look at this. Like, they have a full, like, riprap, like, wall, which is, I mean, someone must have taken so much time and money to put this together. With the trees, the wire, I mean, it's just incredible. All the way back. I mean, it really is like a paradise. And look at this, all these palms that are tied into it. I mean, this is the amount of rocks and the amount of effort that somebody took to put all this together is incredible. Huh. Never noticed there's like a little pathway to another house. And then again, now we're back to where we were before with shuffleboard, the grill, the marina, and your phenomenal, phenomenal view. Good job, Nick, you're right. Exactly for oil drip pans, everything else. So if there's some sort of a leak, you're not ruining the concrete driveway and leaving stains. Good job. I feel like that's something that older generations generation probably knows, so it might date you a little bit, and it dates probably me a little bit as well. But yeah, it's definitely just to not ruin your concrete. And this Williams boat, this Tender's inboard jet engine. I don't know if anyone's ever seen a Williams. It's a dinghy, like an inflatable boat, but it's got a jet engine that's mounted on the inside, and the thing just flies. They can actually be pretty scary when you hit a wave because of how they're laid out. It becomes like a sail, and the thing can just shoot straight up in the air on you. You got to take them out on flat days or really know what you're doing. Luckily, Mike, who has that boat, does. But yeah, I'm really hoping it's starting to clear up a little bit on the water. I'm hoping we can start seeing some fish coming through here and rolling. We got a strong incoming tide. The water's definitely getting deeper and clearing up. I'm curious if anyone wants me to come back one night and set up a camera for a little bit and toss in some lines and see if we can get some tarpon and some jack out here. I think we could definitely make that happen. But yeah, hope everyone's enjoying their Sunday. I'm gonna go back in the AC because I am in South Florida and it is 4 billion degrees outside right now, and I'm in jeans because somehow I decided this was the best plan on a work day. I hope you guys are enjoying your Sundays a little more. Let me know what you guys are doing in the comments. But look at this view before I go. I mean, it's hard to beat this. I didn't turn on the TV, but imagine you're sitting watching your TV and you got this incredible water view. I mean, I know the house that I'm in right now is unfortunately probably going to be knocked down, but just a little kind of cool property. But look at that, 14 people out of nowhere. But look at this. I mean, if you had all the money in the world, I know we're asking $4 million for this, and the end product's probably going to be a $10 to $12 million house. But I mean, in this city, I born and raised and grew up here, and there's a handful of lots, 10 or 12 lots that have this kind of open water view. It's just, there's nothing like it. And the locations, like I said, phenomenal. You're across Lake Placid from Cap's place. Your marina's right there. Lighthouse is 5 minutes away. Your walking distance down to the park. It's a hidden little gem. And it's just, I mean, in this backyard, like here, tucking around this way too, like there's just paths kind of everywhere you go where they did a really good job kind of keeping things cleaned up and organized. Here's your indoor outdoor. And look at this. It is 2 separate buildings, but it's just hard to want to go and look at anything else. I kept want to go inside, but this is where the view is. You can actually see we got something moving out on the water there. I knew with the incoming tide we'd start to see some fish coming through, so I might get going in a few minutes, but I'm definitely hoping that we get some tarpon and some bait fish rolling through here. And if we do, I'm here for another 45 minutes. I'll probably try and come live. Let's see if anybody can see anything. But it's just a phenomenal day. There's not a cloud in the sky right now. And those houses, I think I mentioned before, those 2 are brand new construction houses right on the beach in Hillsborough Mile. So again, we're in an area that is super unique. It's a small town, small area, kind of a hidden gem, but it's one of the most expensive zip codes in the country. So 2 years ago, there was a house that they called Little Versailles, and it was the most expensive house for sale in the country for 8 months, listed for $150 million and sold for $130, and it's 3 houses down from those. So it's an area that no one really knows about, and it's always ranked in the top 5 zip codes for most expensive zip codes in the country. The main reason why is those homes have 100 to 200 feet directly on the ocean, and they have another 100 to 200 feet directly on the intercoastal. It's one of the few places anywhere that I know of in Florida that you can have direct beachfront house with your private beach and also have a 100-foot mega yacht in your front yard on the intercoastal that's 10 minutes away. Everywhere else it's beachfront property. You can't obviously park a boat on the beach. So it's one of those things where now you're keeping it a marina. And if you're a boater, it defeats the purpose a lot of times to not be able to just go out and use it. And those homes have it all. And they have guest houses that are 2,000, 3,000 square feet with their own pool on the intercoastal next to the boat. A lot of times that's for their captains, staff, whatever it may be. One of the houses down there as well is Jim Moran, who was the largest Toyota and Lexus importer in the country. He did a blue roof on his house, which was an ode to Japan with all the roofs there because of what he was importing, all the cars. And this house that we had just said before was just sold for $17 million. And the owner, 2 owners ago, was actually the gentleman that founded Cito. So it's an area where there's a lot of affluent people who kind of want to just hang out and not have to deal with the hustle and bustle of Fort Lauderdale or Miami or West Palm. We're kind of getting that. And a lot of them that fish, this is where they want to be. It's hard to beat this area. It's hard to beat this water, this weather, and the price points. Your bang for your buck that you can get here is 2- and 3-fold what it would be anywhere else. And then people coming from out of states. So depending on where you're watching this, what you're seeing, I mean, property taxes, business, everything else, we're getting the influx of people from New York, from New Jersey, from Chicago, from California, wherever it may be, because we don't have the property taxes. We have the year-round great weather, and at some point move your business down here, and then we're getting a lot of people who are here 8-10 months out of the year, and then they travel. When it gets too hot like right now, they take their mega yachts and they go to the islands and they go wherever they want, or they go to Europe or wherever it may be. It's a unique thing. I also think Florida became much more of a hotbed since COVID. Between remote working and the tax savings, it was a game changer for down here. I mean, properties have just changed because now you can work on your boat, you can work on whatever it may be, and you see people all the time sitting on their boats and on the docks and by the pool all working. You don't have that before. You don't need to go in the office. It's a little bit different here. The mentality, it's a lot of very successful people, but there's just that little bit of a laid back, less push than you might get in New York. And I think people are looking for that. People don't necessarily want to be just full throttle all of the time. And that's the joys of this. And that's just an incredible boat. I'm waiting. They've been loading it all day. I expect most of these boats. Yesterday, the whole marina was full. And I expect this time of year, that's when people are taking them out and going. So I expect tomorrow there'll even be more gone. Michael took his boat out yesterday. So it's crazy. But yeah, thank you. Hey.